Our condolences to the believers all across the world, wherever you are, upon the martyrdom anniversary of the 8th rightful successor to the Messenger of Allah, sallallahu alayhi wa alih, the 8th divinely appointed Imam, Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Riza Al-Murtaza alayhi salam. During the reign of the 5th Caliph of the Abbasid dynasty, Harun al-Rashid, the Abbasid Empire had reached its peak both in wealth and in expanse. On the one hand, wealth in unimaginable amounts was flooding into the coffers of the Caliph, to the point where extravagance no longer had any meaning for the ruling class and the aristocracy. And on the other hand, the empire stretched from southern Europe, the Mediterranean Sea, and North Africa, going through West and Central Asia, and leading up all the way into the frontiers of the Hind. And it was precisely due to the vast expanse of the Abbasid Empire that the empire was split into two major areas. The western half of the empire, with its capital in Baghdad, was given to Harun al-Rashid's son, Muhammad al-Amin, whose mother was an Arab. And the eastern half of the empire, with its capital in the city of Marv in Greater Khorasan, was given to Harun al-Rashid's older son, Abdullah al-Ma'mun, whose mother was descendant from the people of Greater Persia. This unimaginable wealth and great vast of dominion brought the Abbasid dynasty great power. And with great power, the Abbasid caliphs indulged in the most shameful and un-Islamic of acts. Acts which flowed from the poison of oppression and transgression. And yet, despite the vast expanse of dominion and the unimaginable amount of wealth and the unchecked power of the Abbasid dynasty, no dynasty and no power can ever stand for long if it rests upon the foundations of oppression, tyranny, and transgression. And so after the death of Harun al-Rashid, the full-blooded Arab Muhammad al-Amin ascended to the throne of the Abbasid dynasty, even though he was the second born. And the half-blooded Arab Abdullah al-Ma'mun was given the position of the crown prince, even though he was the firstborn. And thus the people of Greater Arabia and the Arabs supported the full-blooded Arab Muhammad al-Amin al-Abbasi. And the people of Greater Persia and the non-Arabs supported the half-blooded Arab Abdullah al-Ma'mun al-Abbasi. And thus a deadly civil war began as Ma'mun al-Abbasi embarked upon dethroning his brother Amin al-Abbasi. And so subsequently he imprisoned and killed his own brother and ascended and officially became the next caliph in the line of the Abbasid dynasty. This civil war between Ma'mun and Amin weakened the central authority of the Abbasid dynasty. Deep fissures and factions had been created. On the western frontiers of the empire, Byzantium was always a lurking danger. And on the eastern borders, on the lands of Hind, control was never absolute. And to make matters worse, various uprisings and revolts, such as the uprisings of the Alawis, the descendants of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, the Zaydis, the Khawarij, the remnants of the Umayyad dynasty, feuding politically powerful families and tribes, the Arabs on the western and African parts of the empire, and the non-Arabs of the eastern parts of the empire, and the growing followers and supporters and Shias of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, and the current and preceding divinely appointed Imams alayhimus salam were all destabilizing and weakening the Abbasid Empire from within. The throne of the Abbasid Empire, which Ma'mun al-Rashid had tried so very hard to acquire, was now quickly slipping through his fingers. And so Ma'mun embarked upon the Wali Ahad deception, a cunning deception that would confuse and subdue both his enemies and the common masses that were quickly rising up against the empire. The deception was to bring in and appoint one as caliph who would be acceptable to the common masses, one who would be acceptable to the Arabs, one who would be acceptable to the non-Arabs, one who would be acceptable to the speakers of Arabic, to the speakers of Persian, and even to the speakers of all foreign languages. One who was acceptable to all the followers and the supporters and the Shias of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. One who was from the very progeny of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa alih. One who was the inheritor of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. A man who was the most knowledgeable, the most pious, the most honorable, the most noble, the most educated, the one best versed in the Holy Quran and the Sunnah and the Seerah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa alih. A man who was the bravest man of his time. A man by the name of Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha alayhi salam. And so Ma'mun al-Rashid brought the 8th divinely appointed Imam, Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha alayhi salam, to the city of Marv in greater Khurasan, and he offered his eminence the Khilafah, the Caliphate of the Abbasid dynasty. Ridha alayhi salam saw through the deception and he rejected the offer of Ma'mun al-Rashid. Perplexed that his cunning and well thought out plan was quickly crumbling in front of his eyes, Ma'mun al-Rashid then offered Imam Ridha alayhi salam the position of Crown Prince, the position of the Wali Ahad. And once again the 8th divinely appointed Imam rejected the offer of the position of the Wali Ahad. He rejected the offer of Crown Prince. What a pitiful caliphate indeed this was, that the one who was the caliph was freely giving it to another, and the one who was to receive this caliphate was completely and utterly rejecting it. Eventually, Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha alayhi salam accepted the position of the Wali Ahad, but under certain conditions. Under the condition that he would have no hand in any of the affairs of the caliphate. And so once again Imam Ridha alayhi salam proved that the Abbasid dynasty was an illegitimate caliphate, because the divinely appointed Imam would have no hands in the affairs of an illegitimate caliphate, one that was built upon the poison of oppression, tyranny, and transgression. But in the city of Marv, now the very heart of the Abbasid Empire, the power and influence of the 8th divinely appointed Imam, Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha Al-Murtaza alayhi salam, grew to new heights, to the dismay of Ma'mun. And so Imam Ridha alayhi salam became an even more serious threat to the power and the throne of Ma'mun al-Rashid than even before receiving the position of Wali Ahad. The Wali Ahad deception had backfired. The hearts of the people were now with Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha alayhi salam, and soon the swords of the people would turn against the empire. The only way to save the Abbasid Empire's throne was to murder and martyr the 8th divinely appointed Imam, Imam Ali ibn Musa al-Ridha alayhi salam, and that is precisely what they did. Assalamu alayka ya waliyullahi wa ibn awliya'i. Assalamu alayka ya safirullahi wa ibn sufara'i. Assalamu alayka ya hujjatallahi wa ibn hujajih. السلام عليك يا الله في ظلمات الأرض وابن أنواره السلام عليك يا عمود الدين. السلام عليك يا وارث الأنبياء والمرسلين. السلام عليك يا إمام قصيد وإمام نجيب وإمام بعيد قريب وإمام مسموم غريب. السلام عليك أيها العالم النبيه والقدر الوجيه النازح عن تربة جده وأبيه. السلام على من أمر أولاده وعياله بالنياحة عليه قبل وصول القتل إليه. السلام عليك يا مولاي يا أبا الحسن يا علي بن موسى الرضا المرتضى ورحمة الله وبركاته. This was CubeSync, syncing you up with reality wherever you are.